Knot in Marquise de Sade's conceptualized quote of toute manger, eat everything. What the textual space of excess in 120 days of Sodom provides is the idea of lack, not in the absence, but in the excess. When the imaginary of food of the first day becomes symbolic of vomit and coprophagia in the 9th day. So in my paper, as I have proposed, there will be two sides to it. One will be done on Marquise de Sade's 120 Days of Sodom, the other in William Shakespeare's Macbeth, the cauldron scene. Now, as food is the concept we have, when we are looking into Sade's use of vomit, shit, urine as something to be eaten, as well as the fart, something abhorrently disgusting. Now, when we look into the textuality of Sade's 120 Days of Sodom, it begins with the excess of drinking wine, different varieties, Burgundy, Anjou wine, Bordeaux, and then by the time we go to the 6th day of Sodom, the Duke proposes significantly that I will not have one drop of liquid except to drink the piss of Zalmaya from the very source. So piss, urine, something which is usually a byproduct, a symbolic movement of getting rid of the componential potentialities, becomes ingredient of food. Again, when Madame Duclos proposes that I have been into a harem where the young women used to go through miscarriages in order to feed ovulation and the embryo in a molten state to the customers. We have the cannibalism, we have a strong element of disgust. Now, from where Sade is coming out with the ideas? If you look into the Oxford version, page 458, which has an introduction by Simone de Beauvoir, we see a very important place when the magistrate says that I will lick every drop of her shit right from the arse. And this amazing fascination with shit gets heightened in the 9th day when the Duset, magistrate, and the judge sits around the commode, licking the shit from them. And this very idea itself is revolting. And we have to remember that Sade is writing in 16th century France. And very interestingly, his entire text is written on the walls of Bastille, the unfallen Bastille, with his own blood, with his own piss, with his own shit, with his own vomit. So, why these uneatables, why these disgusting things are so important for Sade? Another instance, when Duset says, give them the liquid that will make my 16 years young vomit, so that I can lick that from the very lips. So the very idea becomes very important as the novel moves towards the end. So we have the 3 cycles after Dante's Inferno. We have the cycles of mania, we have the circle of shit, and we have circle of blood. So by the time we enter into the cycle of blood, the entire activity moves to the level of cannibalism. Something which becomes very famous in the cauldron scene, Act 4, Scene 1 of Macbeth, where the witches prepare a hell broth for Macbeth. But that is important enough. But what is not important enough or not discussed enough is why Macbeth drinks that hell broth.
Hold you for a second. Can anyone, one or two of you, help me taking this near because the absence of plan.
Why Macbeth will drink such a hell broth? The soup, which was made from lizard's leg, howlet's wings, tiger's cauldron, finny snake's fillet, bull's bat's wool. Why Macbeth will partake it? If for Sade, partaking shit, vomit and urine was peevishly, then what is it for Macbeth? Why should Macbeth drink the hell broth? The answer is not simple. It is located in the very idea of fulfillment and lack and anxiety. Now Lacan, in his seminar 10, has brilliantly and ambiguously established a relationship between shit as an anxiety structure. In the anxiety structure, fulfillment is usually not coming from the fulfillment of a lack, but the anxiety cycle begins from the fulfillment. So the fulfillment of the food becomes the anxiety of shit and vomit. Thereby, it is a very interesting level of confrontation that both the texts presents, that how lines like Sade, which is not establishing a subject-object relationship, are rather developing a Gustavian object with the shit, with the vomit, with the fart, with the urine, becomes the phallic zoism. And it is very interesting again that this zoism that Duclos says when, quote, she assured us that all his joy consisted in eating expelled ovulation and in lapping up miscarriages. He would be notified wherever a girl found herself in that case. He would rush to the house and swallow the embryo, half swooning with satisfaction. Or when Doucet says, got fashon tipsy. I got fashon tipsy, and the whole thing vomited into his mouth. Doucet had the whole harem fought, and in the course of the evening swallowed at least 3 score mouthful of unwholesome air. So all these makes me ponder at the idea of fantasy. So when we move from fetishism to fantasy, we also kind of move from the idea that Lacan says the real is what resists symbolization absolutely. It is in this sense, Lacan says, the anxiety of all signals is the one that does not deceive. This is where the fallacious completeness in fantasy becomes the subject. So, when Macbeth is drinking the hell soup, he is the bard subject, the Lacanian bard subject, who has resisted the formulation of the real soup. Again, when Doucet, Blangy's magistrate are eating or partaking shit and vomit, we see a kind of movement from symbolic food to the resistance of real food. So So what is there in the imaginary is not what is there in the real. So this knot, this tripartite history of imaginary, symbolic, and that of real becomes very, very interesting when we look into Sade's idea. The queer in Sade goes beyond the Lacanian idea of the phallus as a symbol. Lacan tells us that the subject in the feminine position does not inscribe anyone wholly outside castration. And it is precisely because the subject here does not know what the absolute zoisa is, because there is no outside of their set, and their zoisa is infinite. The phallic zoisa is a part of it, but not all. So, I come into the conclusion that in my paper, when I'm talking about the unwholesome excretions, uneaters, what we are understanding is the idea that anxiety goes on in a very confirmed pattern of a movie strip. I think I have finished in time. Thank you.